Good evening, everyone. Afternoon and morning. I know I have people watching from all over the world. So it's Sunday, September 19th, 2021. Let me know if you're hearing me well. Yeah, that's good. The title of the live stream today is Economic Meltdown Intensifies as UK Government Holds Emergency Meeting. So I'll wait until everyone comes online. There's quite a few people here already. I've been speaking since July about the economic situation in the UK. And sometimes you try not to scare people off, but I truly thought there were troubles for the economy. And yeah, sadly, things are getting worse. So we're going to go over that. We're going to go over some of the stuff that's going on in the US as well. So let's see who's here. You got so many people here already. We got Shy Son, 1347, Big Bush Ape, Bobby Critter. We got Music Lover, Eddie Darmody. We got Alan Zibbelman, Music Lover Forever, Cardinal Sin. Hi, Carlos Garcia. We've got big, who else? Music Lover. 555 Frontier. Pablo Pina, hi Pablo. Peter Brunsgaard, hi Peter. Joker Alpha, Urban Sombrero. This is nice to see everyone here. Just wait for more people to come on. Yeah, Pablo Pina, retail sales in the UK, they've gone down for the last 4 months, every month. Yeah, I've got something to talk about that too. An article, Omega 33, hi Omega 33. He's waving. Emergency meeting at Omega 33, we're going to talk about that. Just waiting for more people to come on. The start time, official start time is 9 p.m. I usually go live a little earlier. Inspector Jason says regards from Southern California. Hi, Inspector Jason. Hi, John Smith. Nice to see you too. Or I can't see you, but nice to have you here. Carlos Garcia, did you see Conference of Montreal? No, I didn't. I didn't hear about that. Alan Jones is playing games and listening to wisdom in the background. Chris Jones, hi Chris. Chris says hello Mario and Billy. No tapering for the UK. Urban Sombrero, hi Urban Sombrero. Yeah, today was a nice day here. Up until 2 o'clock, it was nice and warm. I played golf today, competition. I played all right, but could have been better. Didn't putt very well. And then I went out with my wife for a nice lunch. So we had a nice day. John Woodhead from Bromley. Yeah, John, we used to live in Bromley, but we moved a few years ago. Know Bromley really well. John Miles, thank you for your super chat. Jerome Powell under investigation by himself for, well, yeah, insider trading. Yeah, these people are all at it. Some people are saying that this has come out now because they want Biden to nominate someone else as chairman. So this could be political. They might bring in someone that will do even more QE because they're talking about tapering. So this could be very political, actually. This could be interesting. We got, who else? Big Gold and Silver from Central Illinois. Jedi Rye. So we got a few more minutes. Yeah, the Fed meeting is Tuesday and Wednesday. They come out on Wednesday with the announcement. And I think their forecasts as well this time, and a press conference. And yeah, that's the Fed. Oh, we got Designer Who Codes from Rotherhithe. I know Rotherhithe really well. I mean, years ago in the early mid-90s, my wife and I used to drive to work into the city. We used to live in Greenwich. So we used to drive through Rotherhithe. We used to joke about it, call it Rotherhithe. I saw what someone said, build your guillotines, ape feces get fanned. Yeah, I saw what's happening in Melbourne, Australia there. The crowd really rushed through the police like it was a hot knife through butter, which was quite interesting. Andrew Watson from Basingstoke. Nice to see you, Andrew. It stopped raining, Neil. It was raining around 2 to 4 o'clock. It's not raining anymore. It's nice and cool. Blast from the past. My short game is usually pretty good. My putting wasn't very good today. It wasn't bad, but I just lipped out a lot of putts, and I left a lot of putts short. The greens were a bit slow, so there you go. So I shot about 79 gross, which is good, but I unfortunately made a 6 on the last hole. So there you go. Car Heroes from Florida. Hi, Car Heroes. Cardinal Sin. Miss MJQ says, hi, Mario and Billy. We got someone from Jordan here. Sorry, I can't read Arabic, but nice to see you here anyway. Nate B, thank you for your super chat. Have you bought gold or silver in Brazil? No, I mean, I haven't lived in Brazil since the 80s, and I wasn't into gold then. So, but I have bought some Brazilian silver coins from the 19th century. I have quite a few of those now. I've been buying it over the last 18 months. I did buy some Britannias yesterday. Actually, I bought more silver yesterday. Not that much, but some ounces of Britannias yesterday. I think I paid about 24 pounds, everything included. Hopefully I'll get it this coming week. So I'm going to bring up some, because I think a lot of people out there are complacent, especially not complacent, but they're just not being told about these things. And I think it's quite serious. So I'm going to share this here. And we've got a minute to go, but we'll start sharing the screen. And this is from, okay, this is from the FT. And I'm going to share with you as well a playlist I just created about the UK economy. So you'll see that I've been warning people about this. I'm not trying to tell people I told you so. I'm just trying to make people aware. Not just in the UK, but I think on the continent, things are bad as well. And I think in the US, things could get bad as well because of the debt ceiling conflict that could come up. So UK energy groups ask for government bad bank to weather gas crisis. So my wife and I, we have British Gas, or Centrica. It's one of the biggest energy companies in the UK. But a lot of people in the UK, they've gone for these deals, much better deals from smaller companies. I think there's dozens, if not hundreds of them, providing energy very cheaply. And they've screwed up, basically. And they're losing a lot of money. Because they probably didn't hedge their positions of natural gas very well. So now we've got a problem. A minister holds emergency talks with regulator ahead of meetings with supplier on Monday. So it's getting very serious. We could have dozens and dozens of companies, it says here. UK Business and Energy Secretary Kwasi Kwarteng is holding emergency talks with regulator Ofgem on Sunday and is due to meet energy suppliers face-to-face on Monday amid fears that dozens of smaller challenger companies could go bust in the coming weeks due to record wholesale costs of natural gas and electricity. And this will not only affect households, it will affect industries. And I'm going to come up to another article, which is probably a little better than this one, that talks about this a little more. This one is from the Daily Telegraph. So here we go. It says, mounting fears of 1970s styles, 3-day week as Britain's energy crunch deepens, rocketing power prices and gas storage crisis threaten the recovery and leave the UK at the mercy of Russia's Vladimir Putin. Yeah, they're always blaming Russia for everything. But this is, as I said, this is more than just the consumer and the households. It says British manufacturing leaders fear an industrial collapse. So there you go. They're using the word collapse, which I started using back in July, over the winter as spiraling gas and electricity prices overwhelm the country's energy defenses. Wafer thin gas reserves have left British economy almost uniquely vulnerable to extreme global supply squeeze, dangerously reliant on cross-channel interconnectors. And I'm going to show you a chart here. So UK's gas storage crisis, it's not, it's man-made because they decided not to hold enough reserves of electricity. So you can see here all these countries, how much they hold. I mean, the Netherlands is much smaller than the UK and has got a lot more reserves. France has got more reserves, Germany and Italy. So this is us here. And they go on about, on this article, how the government here a few years ago decided that we didn't need to keep reserves. So they're blaming Putin on this, or Putin. And it's more, everything is unraveling, I would say. And the other thing I would say is that not just the UK, but the whole Western world, we've been focusing on creating money, fiat currency and credit out of thin air. We've been focusing on people just consuming and borrowing and having an economy that's just in time inventory, not just for like hard objects or food, but also for, it looks like, for the energy as well, because we've got almost no supply. So if there's a problem, there's not, the prices go through the roof. And all we can do really well is create an economy that's highly leveraged. We've got mortgage rates. I think that's another problem for the housing market in the UK. And I'm going to bring another article to show you that even with mortgage rates at historic lows, we could see a housing crisis because people are going to be hard up. Their bills are going to go up. You've got utility bills, you got national insurance tax increases, you got council tax increases, you've got all kind of increases. And I think it could hurt. And even if mortgage rates don't go up, people might not have enough money to cover their mortgage payments. So I think it could get quite bad. Jim Marshall says the only thing the UK makes is excuses. I agree. And I really hope that the UK government doesn't bail out these energy companies because we're going to be paying for it, the taxpayer, again. and people who were greedy, and some of you, I'm not having a go with you, but some of you who might have signed up to these special deals from these energy companies, or they call them challenger and energy companies, uh, you should pay for it. People like that should pay for it. If they had a credit there, or if they paid already and the company went bust, why should I or someone else pay for it? But unfortunately, I think they're gonna bail everything out again. And that's just gonna make things even worse. They don't want to take the pain. Hopefully, we'll have to see though. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. So I'll take a few more questions, or I'll take some questions. Yeah, total bell shit. Furlough ends soon, too soon. Yeah, the furlough scheme here is supposed to end at the end of September. So yeah, that's a huge problem as well. And you kind of wonder why they're talking more and more about lockdowns. Maybe they'll use that as an excuse to keep furlough going. Alex Cooper, what do you think of Evergrande's situation? I think Evergrande is a problem for the Chinese. I'm not sure. It could. I mean, we could have black swans all around. In the UK, is the energy crisis, natural gas. In China, it could be Evergrande. In the US, it could be the debt ceiling impasse. So yeah, but I don't think it's as bad as Lehman. It's not as systemic, but I don't. There's two factors for Evergrande that from what I understand, there's about $7 to $8 billion of bonds that they issued in US dollars. Those, I think they have some interest payments coming due soon, about $100 million, I think, on those. But next year, they come due, these bonds, they have to pay them off. The foreign, and most of these are held by foreign investors. So China might definitely let these foreign investors, why would they bail out foreign investors? As for the Evergrande business in China, I think they've got 300 billion worth of liabilities or obligations. They're not bonds. Yeah, that could be a problem, but I think China is big enough for them to basically let Evergrande go bust, but keep the business running, and put it into administration, so to speak, just like the US did with General Motors and other companies that went bust, right? The US bailed out, of course, AIG. I'm not sure they're going to bail out Evergrande, because the Chinese government has been for the last 2 years or a year trying to tamp down speculation. So I don't think it's going to be. It could be serious for China, but I don't think it's going to be as serious for the world. I think other things could be more important, especially with what's going on in relation to the debt ceiling in the US. A flock of black swans. Now that's a sight to see. Yeah, Alex Cooper, we could, we have the natural gas situation, not only in the UK, but in Europe as well. We've got the debt ceiling in the US. We got Evergrande in China. Who knows? Philip Ward, well, inflation has already been created, Philip. What we're seeing now is rising prices. Yes, interest rates could really rise, especially if there's a problem in terms of the debt ceiling negotiations. I think they've got about a month to sort it out. If not, if the US goes, if they can't pay off the debt, if they do go into default for, and even if it's just for a week or 2 weeks or a month, it could be very serious. It could lead to a spike in interest rates everywhere around the world. But you can bet the central bankers are going to try to keep it down, but eventually they won't be succeed into doing it. And earlier I spoke about, let's have a look here. I was talking about how, yeah, I think we could see trouble ahead for the UK housing market. And I'll tell you why. I'm going to share a story from the Daily Mail of all places. So as you can see here, household bills will soar by more than $1,500 a year, with families on the cusp of the biggest spending squeeze in nearly a decade, experts warn. And I would, as we used to say in the city of London, I'll buy £1,500. I think it's going to be more because I think prices are going to rise even more. So this is what people in the alternative like me and others have been warning for over a year. Because of all this money printing that we've seen from the Bank of England, all the government spending, the huge deficit spending, is it any surprise that this is happening? Of course, they're going to blame everyone else, like Putin and others, except the Bank of England and the government. And why do I think this is serious? Well, because even though mortgage rates are really low right now in the UK. And I'll show you another story here. And people might get the wrong impression. You know, they'll say, oh, interest rates are really low, mortgage rates are really low, I'm going to buy this house. But they won't see all the cost of living rises coming, and they could have problems paying off their mortgages. So you see Britain's lowest ever mortgage rate launches. Number of loans on the market has more than doubled. Mortgage rates have reached a historic low with the launch of a new 0.79% loan, the lowest ever recorded in Britain. So I think this is really dangerous. It says, though, borrowers must have a 40% deposit and pay $1,500 arrangement fee. So you see that $1,500 arrangement fee, that looks very familiar with how much people are going to be worse off. So all I'm trying to say here, I'm not saying house prices or the housing market in the UK is going to implode, but I think it could be under severe strain, despite all these, despite rates going low as they are. Are you stocking up on food for Billy? James Hafford. My wife and I today, we went for lunch, and it's not far away from our house, the restaurant. So we walked back. And we stopped at a small, what was it? I forgot now which supermarket it was. Sainsbury's, a small Sainsbury's. And we bought Billy some dog food. We haven't had problems yet with that here, but I'm going to keep a close eye on the situation. I think, we went to another supermarket yesterday, and they had everything right now, but I think this gas situation, it could impact the food packaging industry, because what's happened with natural gas going up is that some of the fertilizer companies, they have to shut down. And I think about 40% of the fertilizing production in the UK is shut down. And the byproduct of fertilizers is used to package soft drinks. It's used to package meat and other foodstuffs. So it's quite serious. It could, the price rise of natural gas and other energy sources could have a severe impact, and we're already having severe impacts in terms of other supply chain problems, right? Not even to mention the truck drivers or lorry drivers in the UK. Sainsbury's, yeah, that's what we went to a small one. They had plenty of dog food. We bought Billy some Caesar food. He likes that. Blast from the past. Watch Clint Eastwood's movie Cry Macho, great movie. It will take your mind off bad times. Go before. I like Clint Eastwood. I haven't been to the cinema in a long time, but anyway, crypto profits are someone else's lost hopes. Cardinal sin. Random nonsense. Hi, random nonsense. Ride the curve. China is more capitalist than the West. I agree. I think Gerald Celente said that the business of China is business and the business of the United States is war. So there you go. Shortage of turkeys this year. Carlos Garcia, at what price will you liquidate some gold? I don't think that's the right way to look at it. You should look at it at, what are you going to exchange your gold for? And then, as Star Path Academy said, or RPAD, I spoke to him a few months ago. He said that the price will be irrelevant if we get the hyperinflation. So we'll have to see. I mean, if I only need, let's say, 50 ounces of gold to buy an average house in the UK, I might liquidate those 50 ounces if I had it, let's say, and buy a house. So I'm looking more at the ratios, the relative value of gold and silver to other assets. So, and I don't really, unless I have an emergency, I don't plan to liquidate gold or silver for fiat and keep that fiat. I would only do that if I was getting another asset as a step. So yeah, I think that's the way to look at gold and silver. And for example, if you could get an almost, let's say, if you could get a nice classic car, for example, I'm not into cars, but if you could get a nice classic car for like 5 ounces of gold, I think that would be a good deal. So you need to start thinking in terms of how many ounces you need to buy, another asset. Slavaki, do you have any uranium stocks? I don't give advice about investments. I had Cameco years ago. I'm not following uranium. I'm sticking to gold and silver and the miners. Not that I don't. Yeah, I stick to what I know. I just want to focus on my big trade. My big long-term trade is to bet on the collapse of the monetary system, on the collapse of governments, and that's why I hold gold and silver and the miners. I don't care what uranium or anything else does. Actually, my big bet is the collapse of the current, the currency system that we have. So there you go. But I think Cameco is a good one. But I think you might want to wait for a correction. I haven't followed uranium, but there's just too much talk about uranium. I think it's probably due a correction. Longer term, it's probably positive. Hi, Rochelle Fernandez. Nice to see you here. Happy Sunday to you as well. Mike G, go ahead, buy that house and throw your 50 ounces of gold to it, but you have no money to pay taxes. Well, what if, I'm not saying I have it, but what if I had more? So all I'm trying to say, I think having a house is a good thing. Yes, of course, you do have some, you have to pay taxes, or here they call it council tax. In the US, there are some states that you don't have real estate tax, but you have to have a place to live, and you can always rent, right? All I was trying to say is that not to look at gold and silver in fiat price, but in terms of value against other assets that you might want. I'm not saying necessarily that I would change it into a house. I was just giving the example. Oliver Bristow, any thoughts on Polymetal International? No, I don't have any thoughts on it because I've never heard of it. Sorry, Oliver. Is that a mining company, or never heard of it? Demarcio Green says Evergrande. Yeah, I spoke with Mike. We did the Mike and Mario show, and I posted it yesterday in my video, in my YouTube channel. And we spoke about Evergrande quite a bit. So if you want to, but I don't think it's going to be that serious really for the whole world, or it could be somehow, somewhat, but I think there's loads of other black swans. There's a flock of black swans, as someone else here mentioned. Jim Arkadipun, sorry if I mispronounced your name, is it more likely that UK economy will show signs of hyperinflation before the US? I think they're both showing it. I mean, even the US is showing more. Some of the price rises in the US have been steeper. I think it's all going to happen together, actually, because the dollar system, the petrodollar system, is derived from the US dollar, and all other fiat currencies are based on the US dollar. So if you get the hyperinflation of the US dollar, it's going to happen everywhere. It's probably not going to be, you probably have a different, slightly different cycles, but they're telling us here that the inflation that they call is only 3.2%, the CPI, but there's another measure, the RPI, which is running almost at 5% already. So I'd have to say the UK would probably hyperinflate first. JG World Bank, yeah, I have seen the that World Bank document. I saw it last year, so we've got another 3.5 years to go. Hopefully, it will unravel their plans. That's my hope. Let's see. I've got some more. So this is the other black swan that could happen, even though most people expect this to be just brinksmanship, and then at the 11th hour, things will get solved. Why the US risks running out of cash within weeks. So this is to do with the debt ceiling impasse. So just go through some of this. I spoke about this about a week ago. Janet Yellen sent a letter to Congress saying irreparable damage to the US economy and financial markets, according to Yellen. So yeah, I mean, they're saying that debt ceiling is approaching 28.5 trillion, but according to the debt clock is already 28.8. So I don't know where they're getting this from. Yeah, they say it's a game of chicken, that they'll eventually come to an agreement and raise the debt ceiling. But I think we've got till October until things could unravel. And this is the deficit the US government has been running. And you can see even prior to COVID, the US government was running $1 trillion deficits. And I like the way how they're forecasting it to drop this much. I would say this line is going to keep going up. So there you go. Let's see, we got a super chat. Norman Burton, thank you for your super chat. I am in Canada and everyone talks about real estate. Is it the same in the UK? The boat seems loaded on one side. Yeah, I mean, house prices and yeah, I mean, nowadays, the last couple of years, people haven't really gone out much with friends to restaurants. They're doing it more, but it's all, the talk is always about house prices. One of the guys I played golf with, he just moved to London from Scotland, and he was telling me how house prices here are so much higher than in Scotland. He said where he lived near Edinburgh, you can get a 5-bedroom house for 250,000 pounds. And he said there is a house near where he lives now in London, 3-bedroom semi-detached house that went for almost 800,000 pounds. So yeah, it's a sign of a bubble. You can't have an economy be dependent on house prices and all it's doing is creating division, demographic division between the older generations and the younger generations, because it's getting harder and harder for younger people to afford a home. For the disenfranchised, the various governments won't synchronize a crash to avoid a shame? Yeah, I think they will for the disenfranchised, but these things don't happen exactly the same. I mean, we've seen that US CPI numbers, they've risen a little faster, but it will generally happen all at the same time. I agree with you. Xander, do you know anything about the Rhodes Scholar and how they influence political power? Oh yeah, I do. And I've spoken about the Rhodes Scholar. A lot of former, I think Bill Clinton is one of the most famous Rhodes Scholars, and they go to Oxford every year. They're usually American students, and you've had secretaries of states, you've had central bankers from the US that come to Oxford. They're given a scholarship. And the interesting thing is that the Rhodes Scholarship they've created one for China now. And that's why when people go on about how we're fighting China and everything, I laugh, because the same people that control the bankers that control the world and control governments around the world, they control the Rhodes Scholarship. And if they're creating a Rhodes Scholarship for the elite students from China to come to Oxford, that means they're controlling the Chinese as well. So yeah, it's a good point there about the Rhodes Scholar. It's something people don't mention very often. think we got some a bit of spam here. We'll have to see. Let's see. I've got something else to share with you guys. I was looking into the Weimar hyperinflation. So here you are. Weimar, the truth about history's most infamous hyperinflation horror story. And they talk about this book quite a bit, which I recommend. When Money Dies, The Nightmare of the Weimar Hyperinflation by Adam Ferguson. There you go. But what I wanted to show you guys is this here, because I like to, when I look at history and study and do research, I like to compare it and look at the symptoms of what happened back then. And this is what I thought was quite interesting. It says, by the autumn of 1920, the strains on the economy in the wake of the war were apparent, but employment was still fairly strong. Food had accounted for half the family budget then, but now nearly 3/4 of any family's income went to it. The food for a family of 4 persons, which cost 60 marks per week in April 1919, cost 198 by September 1920 and 230 by 1920. So you see, food prices are always the first signal of hyperinflation. And it starts very slowly. People say, oh, it's only transitory. And then it takes off. And then it says certain items such as lard, ham, tea, and eggs rose between 30 and 40 times the pre-war price. On the bright side, in contrast to Austria, the official unemployed figure was low. And then this is another, where is it? This is what caught my attention about this article here. It says, meanwhile, amid the economic gloom of the lower and middle classes, the rich were spending money like crazy. Does that sound familiar? The 1%, the billionaires right now? I think it's very similar to what's going on right now. And I've got a couple of stories here. So there we go. Here we go. How the super rich are binge spending their lockdown cash. Following a year of restraint, the uber wealthy are loosening their purse strings and nothing is off the table. So there you go. There's another article here that was saying that some of the very wealthy, they don't even care if they come, if they come back from a country that was in the amber and they come back to the UK, and they don't care if they don't quarantine, because they don't care about the £10,000 fine, because it's nothing for them. So I think that's quite, those symptoms seem to be present today. We've got a very divided society, just like back during Weimar Germany. Here's another one. What I've learned about how the rich do COVID, from testing and quarantine to flying and destination picks. This is how the wealthy make a pandemic look easy. So there you go. And they talk about all these new services. It's called concierge service. So look at this. I mean, the normal person couldn't do this. A fool and his money are soon parted. That's why what I thought when I first heard that there was a COVID concierge service in London charging $800 per person for an amber testing package. My boss suggested I review it, with a personal trip to Switzerland later that week, followed in short succession by a work trip to the Caribbean, an exciting, chaotic, last-minute bureaucratic riddle combination. I was more than happy to play the fool. So there you go. Flying, I guess they go on private jets. They don't care. So am I having a go at them? No. It's good that they can do that. I'm happy for them, but I'm just trying to show you the difference between the general public and the very wealthy. And yeah, I think it's getting wider and wider. It's becoming more like a third world country. SW says he was late looking at the volcano in La Palma. I see. What happened to the volcano in La Palma? Isn't that the one off the coast of Africa? I heard that that could be quite serious. That could create a tsunami off the coast of Florida or something. Depends if it's a big one, big eruption. Let them eat Bitcoin. The tsunami. Oh yeah, the tsunami risk island. So is that happening right now? I haven't looked at the news in terms of that. Yeah, Chris Jones says that I read about this volcano many years ago that it's in the Canary Islands. That's right. That if it erupts, and I think it's facing the west, and if it erupts, it could cause tsunamis in the Atlantic Ocean that could go all over the world, especially towards maybe South America and North America. Mark RC, if you were a young single man with no real ties to the UK and a pocket full of cash, where would you move to prepare and ride out the inevitable flock of black swan events? Where would I move to? Difficult to say. I don't know. I don't know, but probably somewhere where people would probably tell you not to go. But I would say, and I don't know much about those places, but maybe Eastern Europe. And why Eastern Europe? Because they went through what we're going through right now for 50 years, sometimes 70 years, like the Russians, and they know yeah, and I don't think they want to go back to that. And the other thing about Eastern Europe, it's the standard of living, or the cost of living there is much cheaper. So that could be a place to go. Who knows? Or a bunker in an undisclosed location, Nick Levis says. Full of Hope says the west side could slump. It's the size of Hawaii, the Hawaii one. I think I was in Tenerife back in 2018, which is part of the Gran Canaries. Yeah. It was nice. I went with my wife and my sister and my nephew, and we played golf there. It was really nice. My wife doesn't play, but she followed along in the golf cart, and it's a nice place. It's very windy, the Canary Islands, but it's a nice place. Hungary might be a good place to live as well, says SW. or even Brazil. The south of Brazil is a nice, I would say, is quite nice if you can get a visa. Or Alan Gripton says France is mad at the UK. I think they're mad at the UK, Australia, and the US. The thing is, the US and the UK and Australia, they're pretending they're flexing their muscles against China, but they can't even keep their economies going. I mean, the UK economy is in the brink of collapse unless they save the energy companies. The US government is in the brink of default unless they sort out the politics and the debt ceiling. Australia is like a prison country right now. I mean, it's just crazy. What is happening in the UK? Well, I spoke about it earlier in the live stream. Basically, not just in the UK, but the whole of Europe, natural gas prices have been going through the roof. And it's really a lot of energy providing companies here are going bust. And today the government had an emergency meeting with Ofgem. Ofgem is the electricity or utility watchdog. And it could be a huge problem. We could run out of electricity, not just for individuals at home, but we could have blackouts. Industry could, we're seeing like businesses having to shut down because electricity prices are going through the roof during the day. I think one of the biggest fertilizing companies in the UK shut down. One of the biggest in Norway as well shut down as well. So I think it's all unraveling the real economy. We can create money and credit really well here in the UK, but we've forgotten about creating real things and having a real economy. All we focus on is house prices, credit, traveling abroad on holidays, spending on our credit cards, but no one's making anything anymore. And I think that's the problem. The infrastructure, it's just crazy. Hopefully things will sort themselves out, but I don't think so. I don't think things are, I think hyperinflation's coming. And these are all symptoms of hyperinflation. Vance Benderman says, enjoy every meal you have right now. Choose slowly because all that is going to change. You're welcome, RR. SW, the fertilizers. I thought it will hurt the farmers, but it's also hurting soft drink bottlers because apparently the fertilizers, the byproduct of the fertilizers that they produce is carbon dioxide, and they use that for packaging all kinds of food stuff. So it's not just like farmers. So it's quite serious. Oh, don't forget the dummy Trudeau, or you mean Justin Castro? Is it Justin Trudeau? Yeah, Justin Castro. The thing is, people might think I'm negative. I'm talking about a collapse and everything. Yeah, but it's not. I think if you live within your means, if you've got your house in order, so to speak, your finances in order, you don't have huge debts, and you'll be fine. But the reason I do my videos and talk about these things is because some people out there have no clue that this is going on, and I want to maybe help people and wake them up. Phil Frost, did you see the YouTube video of US farmers offered 1.5 times value to destroy them? Yeah, I heard about that, but I didn't see the YouTube video. Arno Meert, do you think there is a future for companies like Fox News or MSNBC? Who are those? No, I don't think there's a future at all. I haven't watched those channels for maybe over a decade. I don't watch television. I don't have, there's a television there, but that's only used for my wife. She has the digital box that she puts stuff on, but it's not terrestrial television. We don't watch, we don't have cable or anything. So no, I don't think they will survive. Buy bacon and freeze it. Yeah, my wife freezes bacon. She freezes everything. Inner Dinosaur remembers the 3-day working week in the UK. Yeah, I wasn't in the UK, but I've heard from my wife because she was born in 1966, so she remembers the 70s really well. It wasn't a good time. There weren't good times for the average Briton. Full of Hope says, I'm topping up my Glint card. All right. Yeah, I bought some Silver Britannias yesterday. So yeah, I bought some silver. BBC will die too. Yeah, I think Cliff High. I don't know if any of you watch Cliff High. I've been following his stuff. I used to buy his Alta reports. I started doing it probably back in was it 2007 even or 8? And he thinks the mainstream media is just going to disappear. Biltong, yeah, that's quite nice. Slavaki says meat in the UK will disappear from the shelves faster than you think. Buy canned now. Faster than you can say Jack Robinson. Dilwyn Roberts was born in 66. Clark Torres is selling his silver to pay off his credit card bill. That's not a bad thing. It's unfortunate that you have to sell your silver, though. But at least you won't have any debt. Church, Ave, Dan, I'm scared my tenants will soon stop paying rent in New York City. The courts are for the tenants, not the landlord. Yeah, I mean, I remember my father had some property, and he, yeah, I would just sell if you can. They're not gonna favor the landlords, that's for sure. If you can sell it. CM thinks they're creating the problem so they can bring a solution. It could be, hopefully, their solution though is this the Great Reset of Klaus Schwab, I think, and hopefully we will say no to that. I will say no to it, that's for sure. Oliver Bristol, a quarter ounce silver Britannia is online, massive premiums, unfortunately. Yeah, the reason for that is that, when you look at an ounce of silver is only worth 20 pounds, 25 pounds, and an ounce of gold is like over 1,200 pounds. So the cost of producing or minting a silver coin in percentage terms is a lot higher than minting a gold coin. And if you do a quarter of an ounce of silver, the cost of producing that is going to be so high that the premium is going to be a lot higher. So maybe stick to the 1 ounce silver coins. Oh yeah, we noticed, my wife and I, it was the first time we went to this restaurant. It was a nice restaurant. We went out for lunch today. For those of you who haven't heard before, I played golf in the morning and then we went out for lunch in the afternoon. But I've never seen that before here in the UK. They had some of the dishes on the menu. They had to scrub the old price and put a new higher price on. That's not a good sign that they're changing the menu by hand, because usually prices don't rise that quickly. So if you go to a restaurant, have a look. And there's another story here that I saved for you guys. And this is from Zero Hedge. And this is from the States. Here we go. It says, restaurants remove crab from menus due to skyrocketing prices. So there you go. It says, everyone knows about crab cakes and crab meat in Maryland. The price per pound has gone up from $21 a pound. Yesterday, it was $52 a pound. Chicken wings pre-pandemic, they were roughly 45 pounds. Last week, they were 196. So it seems very similar to what was happening in Germany from around 1919 to 1922. All the food prices started rising. Oh, I just want to show you as well, in relationship to the title of this live stream about the UK economy. I created a playlist today here, and it's called the UK Economic Collapse 2021. I think we're experiencing it right now. So I made a video in July talking about this, and I made a video last week. So if you want to look into it a little deeper, it's under playlists on my YouTube channel. Belly Dance Rabia says crab's worth more than silver. That knocks here in Canada, the majority of restaurants use QR codes for menus, making it easier to adjust prices while erasing history. Dennis Domenis, maybe this will help lower the average BMI of the population. Yeah, definitely. I think the diet also needs to change. There's too much focus on carbohydrates. Canadian Prepper shared how digital currency will control consumers. Purchase payments will be approved or disapproved based on social scores. I'm not too sure about that. I think we're still far away from that, but he could be right. Carlos Garcia, thank you for your super chat. 1 ounce silver for Billy, the custodian central bank. Peace. Thank you very much, Carlos. There he is, Billy. Mr. Ashford, when buying junk silver, how do you price it to get a fair deal? Do you use scrap or spot? You have to use the spot price, and then you look at the weight of the coin and the silver contents, and then you calculate. They only save craps, not silver. The problem with that, can you freeze crabs? I guess you could freeze them. Yeah, I like instant coffee, even though I do like a latte once in a while, but Nescafe instant coffee is fine for me. Rochelle Fernandez, did you do a book review yesterday? Because I didn't see it. I haven't done another one yet. Yesterday, I posted the Mike and Mario show. I will do a book review soon, but I didn't do one yesterday. I did write down all the books that I did in the first review, so next time I know which ones not to pick, but I will do another one soon. Andrew Watson, do you think the rich have bolt holes abroad in jets ready? I think they have already. I mean, yeah, they will be ready to go wherever they might need to. But I think I read somewhere that some people think that even the very wealthy will be annihilated in the coming currency collapse, or when the system implodes. So you could see a lot of even some of these people, because I've been reading that a lot of these billionaires are very wealthy in the last 18 months. They've because all their assets have gone through the roof, all their portfolios and stuff, that they've actually borrowed to buy a lot of their stuff and to keep their standard of living. So, and they haven't like liquidated their assets. And if there is an implosion of the paper, all this fake value, you could even see a lot of the very wealthy, maybe not the top, but I think it will, it could wipe out many people, just like during the Great Depression. A lot of rich people got wiped out. I think this will happen again. Arno Meert, I have read Nassim Taleb's books. Yeah. I got Black Swan, and I think the other one that I bought more recently was about skin in the game. They're good books, I think. Scrap prices, yeah, that's what you get from a metal merchants. I think it might be sometimes called the melt price. Yeah, when I think of scrap prices, when you're selling to them, they usually pay maybe 5-8% under spot. I don't know if you could buy from them, and by junk silver, I mean like the constitutional silver from the US, or the pre-1920 silver coins from the UK. Blast from the past, thank you for your super chat. Gold maple leaves are cheaper than gold eagles. Does it really matter which you get? It's interesting you asked that, because I got a question from one of my Patreon supporters about whether he should buy a Krugerrand or a maple leaf. And he said that the maple leaf looked prettier, but the Krugerrand seemed more less damaged. Yeah. You see, the maple leaf is pure gold, 999 gold, and gold is very soft and brittle. So I would favor the gold eagle, because it's, I think, 90% gold. So it's got the copper that makes it sturdy. Yeah. Even though the maple leaves are nice, but I would favor the non 999 gold coins. James Hafford, if things melt down, will our local coin shops buy gold, or will they just exchange for other assets? I think they would definitely buy gold, but I don't think many people would want to sell their gold when things are melting down like that, if they don't have to. I don't really know. I don't know, but it will probably be very hard to get any gold or silver or anything for that matter. I think I'll keep going a little longer today. It looks like there's 1,000 people here, which is good. I've had more before, but recently it had gone down. William Stewart, banks will take your 85,000 cash and give your shares of their bank. Yeah, they could. That's called cash for equity, which is basically a ripoff. They did that in Cyprus, and that 85,000, that's supposedly the FSCS guarantees that amount, but the FSCS is not really the government, and they have a fund that would only be able to cover about 3 to 4%. Yeah, they don't have many assets to cover all the deposits in the UK. But so if there were to be a banking collapse, you would probably have 85,000. You have a few shares in NatWest or whatever bank, you've got that cash in. That's why I personally try to keep as little as I have to in my bank account. Yeah, because I don't trust them. It's called a bail-in, right? They could do a bail-in very easily. Lily Robbins says, hit thumbs up for Billy. Hey, Billy, wakey, wakey, boy. Slava Key, how long will precious metals bull market last? Under this current system, fiat currency system, I think we could have another few years. And the reason why I think that is because the dollar index, the cycles in the dollar index are usually like 6 to 9 years, on average about 8 years. And I think the dollar index topped, well, it's actually 7 to 9 years, and so average 8 years. So the dollar index topped in January 2017. So I think we could go for another 3 to 4 years in the gold bull market. But if there is a currency collapse, then gold and silver will probably become more like money, and hopefully we'll go back to where gold and silver are not just a commodity, but they're also money. And maybe people will start pricing everything, a lot of things versus against gold and silver. Total Bellshit says BOE announced changes in July for the bail-in. I didn't see that. What did they announce, Total? Billy, no, Billy is because the dog years, you did the first year is like a 1 human year. So Billy's 13. So you do 12 times 7, 84 plus 1 is 85. So yeah. So but next year he'll be yeah, he'll be like 92. He's getting old. He likes going out though still. Drickett, how long a hyperinflation last? It actually doesn't last very long. That's the nice thing about hyperinflation. No one will understand what's going on. Maybe we will, and we are already in the hyperinflation. I think most people are trying to give all these excuses about supply chain and Russia and everything. But if you read this book about the German hyperinflation, the prices started picking up in like 1920, 20 to 22. They're picking up like they're picking up now, the food prices. Well, 1919 to 21, they had their transitory inflation. And then from 1922, it kicked off and it ended in 1923. So it doesn't last that long, which is a good thing. It's just a complete collapse of the currency. That's all it is. The currency becomes worthless. And we could argue that since World War I, we all currencies have been becoming worth less and less. And I think the hyperinflation will just be the last 3% will accelerate lower, like the dollar and the pound. Billy isn't a father. No, he's not. Rolf Steiner says it in the USSR, it only lasted a couple of years. Yeah, it's short and painful, but the thing is, by the time the hyperinflation starts, people have already lost everything. Like your savings will have, already been diluted quite a lot. Like they're already being diluted now if you keep your money in fiat. When we get a reset, Mr. Ashford, do you think silver is too scarce to make it back into circulating coins? It all depends on the price. I don't think it's too scarce personally. I think they would be great circulating coins. That will be for people to decide, I think, hopefully. I don't think that it's scarce anyway. You could always make it worth more, so you could circulate the coins. It will circulate at a higher price, I think. It's all about the ratio, like exchanging, an ounce of silver for, a kilo of potatoes or a pound of potatoes. Daniel Thacker, thank you for your super chat. What do you think of buying numismatic gold and silver like Lynette Zhang? I like numismatics. I have quite a few collectors or numismatic coins. I even bought the other day. I bought this magazine, Coin News, here in the UK, and I'm going to go next Friday to Coinex. And where is it? Coinex is one of the biggest expos for coins, and I have some coins that I bought years ago that I want some people to look at it, see what they're worth. So I do like numismatics, but it's different than buying gold and silver for savings. You need to do a lot more homework about that. You have to look at, you have all different kinds of, years that the coins are scarce, or you could have a damaged coin, which could be, an error coin could be worth more. And in the States, I guess the numismatics is a way to maybe protect against possible confiscation. So, yeah, but I would say the numismatic coins I have are a small portion of what I hold, but I like it. Yeah, let's have a look. Coinex. Some of the people here, yeah, Coinex, what page? Yeah, it's going to be the Biltmore Hotel, Grosvenor Square, London. It's on Saturday and Sunday. No, sorry, Friday and Saturday this coming week. I'm gonna go on Saturday to Coinex. So yeah. Rolf Steiner, yeah, poverty starts. All right, I'm gonna make a move now. I've done an extra 12 minutes and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. And thank you for being here for, yeah, this is like Graham Hobbs, one of the viewers, subscribers. He says this is a community and yeah, that's what it's all about. And hopefully we'll keep going for a lot longer. So I'll talk to you tomorrow. And thank you very much for all those who participated, or for the super chats and all the questions too.